Yes, I know, the language of kingship feels terribly old-fashioned, even though we do, in fact, have a king. King Charles reigns over the British Commonwealth, though I certainly don't feel as though he impacts my life in any concrete way. The concept of kingship as a political reality feels distant, ancient, maybe even quaint in our current context of royalty as more celebrity than ruler. So when I say people like having a king, what I mean is people want a strong leader, a visionary, a smart businessman, a savvy military commander. Now, we don't want a tyrant. We prefer a kinder, gentler version of a dominating ruler who will nevertheless whip everybody into shape. Someone who will deal decisively with opposition, preferably in a way we can deny involvement. We want a strong leader who will enact the policies we believe in. An authoritarian, probably fine, although we would never admit it out loud, as long as it's good for me and mine. We want a king who will guarantee us safety, stability, and prosperity, certainty. Our first reading tonight, Psalm 96, celebrates a new day when God, the Lord of hosts, reigns again as a ruler who makes all other authority an idol. The ancient people of Israel lived with the ups and downs, to say it nicely, of political leadership. The history of Judah is the history of empires rising and falling. First Egypt, then Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome. The people of God did worse and better in turn under different empires. And there were some memorable historical moments when empires were weak and they knew self-determination. Today's psalm celebrates one such moment. Something had changed, and the Lord our God is being enthroned as king. The call to praise is unrelenting. Sing, 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 bless, proclaim, declare. The good news of God's renewed rule must be shouted from on high. Go tell it on the mountain. All other authority, human authority, is but an idol. Our Lord God is in charge now. Let all the earth tremble before him. It's not a cry for a kinder, gentler authoritarian, as we might want. People who have lived through oppression and violence and grinding poverty don't want kinder and gentler. They need equity, righteousness, and truth. Different kind of strong leader. For these are the divine qualities. It's God's agenda for the first 100 days, as we say these days, that the psalmist celebrates. The Lord is enthroned as king, and the people receive salvation. All will live well once more. Our world will never again be moved. All people will know safety, security, and prosperity forevermore. At least that's the palpable hope of the moment. If only it worked out that way. New regimes rarely live up to the hype or the ideals proclaimed in the moments of exaltation. Oppressed people become people who oppress others in what seems like a flash. Empires fall and new empires rise in the ongoing flow of history. In many of our lifetimes, we've known, for better and for worse, the British Empire, the rise and fall of Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, the advent of the American Empire and its current teetering on the brink. Cries for salvation ring out in our world today as much as they ever have. Those cries are not as unlike what we might imagine from the Jewish population of Judah way back in the 1st century. In those days, our gospel story begins this night. A decree went out from the Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. The decree is far from innocuous. Counting people, knowing who is where, is a tactic of empire to control the populace. It's government agents requiring identity papers to be shown. It's not renewing work visas or denying student visas to reduce the population of immigrants. It's turning desperate people away at the border, sending refugees back to dangerous places. It's requiring poor, simple people to travel a distance to be registered, while pregnant no less, to disrupt lives and create uncertainty, to demonstrate power over, for control, for taxes, for tribute to the empire. The first announcement in biblical Christmas story is one of imperial menace with an undercurrent of or else. It is not, thank goodness, the last announcement. The next announcement comes not to all the world in the cities and towns, but to all the people, beginning with those of no fixed address, those left behind by the world, shepherds sleeping rough out in the country, not worthy to be registered. Away from the power of empire, an angel appears, and the glory of the Lord shone around. The first response of the shepherds is quite sensibly terror. Of course, the dominating power and might of empire is likely all they knew. And so the angel reassures, do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. I wonder if the ancient praise of Psalm 96 starts ringing in their ears. Sing, 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 bless, proclaim, declare. Maybe the ancient promise their ancestors once lived echoes in their hearts. All the gods of the nations, they are but idols. But it is you, O Lord, who made the heavens. Maybe the hope of majesty and magnificence when the Lord reigns and judges the people with equity. It's just too compelling to stay put. Those shepherds, the least and the last, have very little to lose. Nothing but a night sleeping outside in the cold and the rain. Their hope for salvation, the angel said, would be a child of all things, not a mighty warrior or a strong leader, not a charismatic speaker or a savvy businessman. Salvation comes as a baby, wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger. Because there's no place for God in the town. There's no place for God in the empire. The Messiah, the Lord, comes in poverty, exclusion, and vulnerability. The small brown refugee would be the one to save. And the night workers who don't get the time off for the holiday are the first to know about it. For it is in the darkest of places where the glory of God shines brightest. At the heart of our faith is this unrelenting paradox. We celebrate the Lord enthroned as a ruler over all the world, and this same Lord defies all our expectations, undermines all our hopes for a strong leader. The Lord reigns from a manger, cooing and crying, in need of human love just to survive. The Lord reigns this night, and a new song rings out, proclaiming the good news of a salvation we could never have imagined.